We got Armando here.
Oh my
Response to
God,
FSU putting out.
dude, Mark,
Oh,
these
with this a
people,
video that they.
these people turned it into a mini documentary
Wow.
that they got 4th and 14 on Miami. Now we're the ones that we get accused of by these people from up north by saying we look
This
at
should be
them
good.
as their super as like our Super Bowl.
Hmm.
We don't make many docu series about one play. That I mean, they got Mike Norvell on there. They got Jermaine Johnson on there. They got the quarterback and the running back. Everybody's on there like, oh yeah, that play is the highlight of the season, and biggest great comeback, and we're like, thank you. Thank you from me to you. I will never, ever, ever be grateful for anything that school produces or does ever again. But for 4th and 14, from the H1H to the people that wear the throw up in gold, thank you. What you did, getting that previous staff, I'm gonna put them all together because everybody thinks I hate Manny Diaz. I'm always jabbing at Manny Diaz. Okay. So getting that whole previous staff to seek shelter elsewhere has pushed this program into a completely different stratosphere. We brought Mario Cristobal home, who could turn out to be the greatest coach in Miami history, or just one of the great coaches in Miami history. We have arguably one of the best staffs on paper in an offseason put together. Again, arguably. I think it's a top 10 staff right now until they actually start to play games. Okay? It's that simple. But you all did it, and you did it for us, and I appreciate it. So blare the war chant, get on your high horse, and run to the middle of your cornfield and throw the spear in the middle of the ground and go crazy. Thank you, man. We really appreciate it so much. Thank you for turning it into National 4 and 14 Day per their own words, Mark. They literally named the title Happy 414 Day. Their quarterback made NIL t-shirts on 4th and 14. And we are so grateful for what you did. And you know what? We will look back on it when we win our ACC championship, the first in school history. We'll look back on it when we blow you out 50-10. We'll look back on it when we go on another 4 or 5 game win streak on you and say thank you all so very much for 4th and 14.
Okay, wholesome one. You know what role I play here. You know what I'm going to do. So I don't even want you to wait until I'm done with my dissertation. If I say something that you have an issue with, I want you to just cut me off. Tell me, okay? Because I'm both going to look at it from the Florida State side, but also hopefully from more of a neutral standpoint. So this is the biggest rivalry on both teams' schedules. Florida State, Miami, Miami, Florida State. This is from a guy that's been watching college football forever. This is how I look at it. I believe that this is the biggest rival for each school, even though Florida State plays Florida at the end of the year, and that's 1B. Okay. And to a certain extent, and I take this perspective coming from a all-time great rivalry that's near and dear to my heart. There are certain games in the series that are bigger than others because there are championship aspirations on the line, et cetera, et cetera. Then there are games like last year when both teams are down and down to different extents. Miami certainly a decidedly better team than Florida State, but both down, did not factor in championship play or anything like that. But the game means something because of pride and because of the rivalry, regardless of what the records are. There is a certain cachet and meaning to the game. So if Miami had pulled off a 4th and 14 to beat Florida State, and let's say Florida State went out because of that and they finished whatever they finished with their record and fired their coach, fired Mike Norvell, and went out and hired, I'm going to try to come up with somebody comparable to Mario Cristobal, James
Deion
Franklin.
Sanders.
Well, I was going James Franklin. James Franklin, somebody who's not won a bunch of national not at the top of the line, but he's accomplished a lot. So that's pretty comparable. Let's say James Franklin, whomever. I don't think, you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you would care about that. Like you'd be scared about James Franklin. You'd just be like, whatever, that you guys did what you did. I don't pay attention to you. All I know is we pulled off a 4th and 14, Tyler Van Dyke to Rashard Smith, and we pulled the game out, and I was happy that we won.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in terms of producing a video, okay, that's a bit much. Producing a video, most of the time when a team produces a video based on a play like that, it's because the play then it would be one thing. Okay, Florida State's had 3 or 4 awful seasons in a row. They pulled off this 4th and 14 against Miami. They beat Miami for the first time in 4 years. And then it catapulted them to 7 consecutive wins, and they went to the Orange Bowl. Okay, we're going to produce a documentary versus, yeah, we pulled out a game.
You know what's funny? You just described
than us. Then we immediately went back into losing, and we had a bad season. Like, why produce
what you just described is what happened when we broke the streak. When we did our fade route to Daryl Langham, Rozier to Langham, and we went on a 7-game win streak, 10-win season, went to the Orange Bowl. That ain't what happened with these people. They lost the very next week. They also lost the Florida game. They haven't been to a bowl game. So yet again, I understand where you're coming from. And like I said, if the roles were reversed, yes, I would still be talking as much trash as I did for the last 4 years and will continue to do. Because we do win the series, and we went on the most recent long streak. So I get that. But again, it's like it's one of those things where it was like, all right, you got us. You won the game. Good. But it continued to be brought up like over and over and over and over and over. Like 4th and 14, 4th and 14, 4th and 14. Like literally, that was all they have. Okay, well, if that's all you have, then therefore you're holding on to that, and we are your Super Bowl, and we will always be Big Brother. It's that simple. So, like I said, you well within your right to play devil's advocate. That's okay. You do have a channel that represents that school, and you got people that come on and talk about that school. And I don't know why, but you got people that talk about that institution and talk about the glitz and glamour of that program, and that's cool. And again, I will never share the screen with them, but hey, it is what it is, So it was just weird. It was brought up. It wasn't something that I brought up initially. So for those of you all who are on hashtag Rewatch Squad or the cropped out version of this video, which there will be a cropped out version of this video of this particular part, Holsum goes on a rant, hates Tallahassee. That's the title. It was brought up by someone else, and I answered the question. I cannot, and even if we did that, Mark, I don't see us turning around and creating a national happy Rozier to Langham Day. I don't see that happening. But for them to literally take April 14th and turn it into Happy National 414 Day and put up a mini docu-series on their Twitter channel.
It is weak.
Yeah.
It is weak. I was partially playing devil's advocate, and I was partially just trying to play it from a neutral standpoint, which I obviously have. But yeah, you can be happy that you pulled out a game against your rival, but it didn't amount to anything after that, and continues to not amount to anything. So yeah, that's a little weak.
Mm-hmm.